Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Freddie Gomez. Welcome to the Doctor's In, your daily guide to virtual care in this time of the coronavirus. In order to adapt to the impact of being in quarantine, many of us are working at home. And due to this, we are exposed to our computer or cell phone screens for longer hours, which may cause eye strain. Our posture can also be affected, leading to back pain and muscle spasms. Today, we'll talk about the physical issues resulting from working from home and how we can best avoid them. To discuss eye discomfort, we have ophthalmologist Dr. Glenn Angeles. Welcome to the program, Glenn.
Hi, Fred. Good afternoon.
Yes, good to have you here. Glenn, before we proceed to our discussion, let's talk a bit about mass testing. According to the DOH, we are averaging 9,600 tests per day, and the highest is 11,127. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque shares the government's plan on COVID-19 testing. Let's watch this.
Achieving it, no? Of course, we have missed prior targets. No, we said that by April 30, we would have 8,000. We did not meet that. We eventually met it 10 days later. So, like all goals, we aim to do everything that we can. But in this case, I think Secretary Vince Dizon is really hell-bent on achieving that capacity, 30,000 per day by the end of May, because it's urgent.
Okay, now we saw that video, Glenn. Could you explain to our viewers the importance of the 3 T's? Ito yung testing, tracing, and treating.
For testing, Fred, it's to test the sector of the population that could come in close contact with more people, like those who's going back to work, and
right.
We need to trace those who's going to show results sa testing nila, and at the same time treat those patients who will have symptoms.
So all of these, Glenn, do you think is really vital in order for us to get a bigger picture of how this virus is actually affecting the country? Because as we all know, this is a new virus. We sort of need a lay of the land. We need a picture of how many people are infected, and basically how much of our country is affected.
Actually, there are 2 types of testing, right? The RT-PCR and the serum test, the IgG/IgM. The gold standard still is the RT-PCR. So for the IgG/IgM, it's more on just to know for the people going back to the workforce, those asymptomatic patients, to prevent them from spreading the disease further.
Okay, yeah, that's great. So we'll be giving the viewers more news on the developments of mass texting, where we are basically here in the Philippines, and how this is going to help us fight the COVID-19. Now, going back to our discussion, our initial topic with regards to taking care of our eyes and working at home and trying to prevent or treat eye strain, which is napaka-common na nito, Glenn, ano? Now, we commonly hear people saying na meron silang eye strain, pero ano ba talaga ang eye strain?
So, Fred, ang eye strain is fatigue of the eyes. Usually, right now, since most of us are working from home, even our class AIM is online na. So, usually this happens if nagbabasa or nagko-computer ng matagal, usually malapitan ang ginagawa. That's why nagkaka-eye strain dahil laging naka-flex yung eye muscles. As compared to when we go outdoors, we don't experience eye strain because our eyes are more relaxed.
Okay, so pag-uusapan natin more about yung trying for our eyes, trying to accommodate in some ways, and how we can make our eyes relax even more. But before we do that, let's answer some social media questions. We have one from Maricel. Ang tanong niya is, what is blue light? Lahat ba ng gadgets may blue light at delikado ba iyon?
Yes, actually, most gadgets, all gadgets have emits blue light, no? But it's there. So we just need to make sure that we don't do it or use gadgets more than for a long time, because anything in excess definitely delicado, no? We need to lessen exposure by decreasing the amount of time spent sa harap ng gadgets. So, kahit na mag-wear ka ng eye protection or take the eye vitamins, you'll still experience eye strain because of prolonged exposure or prolonged usage of the gadgets.
So just for everyone to know that the blue light is definitely there, lalo na sa mga gadgets natin. So we have to pause for a quick break, but when we return, we'll share more tips on how we can take good care of our eyes while working at home. Please stay tuned. Hi and welcome back to the Doctor's Zen. I'm Dr. Freddie Gomez. So we hope that while you're staying safe at home, we can provide you with the medical advice that you need. So we're still talking about the aches and pains of working from home, katulad ng ginagawa ko ngayon. At isa na po rito ang pagkakaroon ng Eyestrain. So we'll talk about how to take good care of your eyes still. I'm with Dr. Glenn Angeles, who is a specialist with the eyes, or a ophthalmologist. Now, Glenn, before we went to break, you were talking about eye strains and what causes this. Very briefly, what can people do to avoid it naman? So anong pwedeng gawin para ma-minimize or pag nararamdaman na nila yung eye strain, anong pwede nilang gawin para ma-relieve ito?
So, Fred, usually the symptoms of eye strain are commonly headache, blurring of vision, doubling of vision, or dry eye. If you experience dry eye, it's because you're looking at your computer for a long time na. Blinking decreases, so it causes dry eye. So if ever you experience dry eye, you can use artificial tears or eye lubricants. For headache, blurring of vision naman, sometimes maybe you have an error of refraction, you can see your neighborhood ophthalmologist to check your eyes.
Ngayon, let's talk about nutrition, Glenn. Ano? So, a lot of people, nung bata sila, palaging sinasabi, kainin yung inyong carrots, yung gulay, dahil ito ay mas nakakapagpalakas ng ating mga mata. What is it in food ang gusto nating makuha? Ano yung nutrients sa pagkain ang gusto nating makuha na maganda para sa ating mga mata?
Yeah, usually, tama yan, no? Usually those vegetables, green leafy vegetables like spinach, broccoli, and other vegetables like carrots, squash, are good sources of lutein and zeaxanthin, which is good for the eyes. Yeah.
Okay, that's very good. So aside from that, let's now talk to our viewers, and I'll read some of their questions that they have. Ano, we have one from Christina. At ang tanong niya ay, yung mga salamin po na walang grado, hindi po ba nakakasira ng mata yun or mas nakatataas pa ng grado ng mata?
Well, to answer that question, no, usually if wala naman grado yung susuotin mo, it won't damage your eyes. It's more on you need to wear the proper prescription. For example, you have an error of refraction, or those people who needs glasses, they need the proper prescription glasses. So they need to go see their ophthalmologist or to go to an optometrist para sukatan yung grado nila. So para angkop mismo the grade to prevent headache or dizziness, and hindi naman siya nakataas pa ng grado. It can actually help relieve the symptoms of headache or dizziness, and especially blurring of vision.
We have another question from Gab. Are vitamin supplements effective for the improvement of vision or eyesight?
Um, Vitamin supplements for eyesight. Well, like we discussed earlier, we just need to eat those green leafy vegetables, no, and fruits. Um, but with regards to eye strain, even if we take much vitamins, if our eyes is tired, um, it's much better to decrease the usage sa gadgets or rest for a while using your computers in front of computers.
Yeah, so you heard it from our ophthalmologist specialist, Dr. Glenn Angeles. Thank you very much, Glenn, for joining us and sharing your expertise and those very useful advice to our viewers. So what we want the viewers to know here is you can relieve some eye strain by taking breaks. And if there are any problems, persistence of problems like you mentioned, headaches, drying of eyes, it's best to visit your friendly neighborhood ophthalmologist.
Yes, Fred. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, we have to pause for another break, but please stay tuned because when we return, we will tackle other issues that you may get from working at home and how to prevent them. We'll be right back. And we are back. I'm Dr. Freddie Gomez, and you're watching The Doctor is In on CNN Philippines and on Facebook Live. So most companies require employees now to work from home to prevent the spread of COVID-19. And with this comes occupational related pains na maaari nating maranasan ngayong mas mahaba na ang oras ng trabaho sa loob ng bahay. Nandiyan ang mga back pain, neck pain, pangangalay ng balakang at marami pang iba. So how can we avoid this? To share his expertise on this subject, we have orthopedic surgeon Dr. JJ Pua. Welcome to the show. It's good to hear from you again, JJ.
Hi, Freddie. Hello, good afternoon to everyone.
Ngayon, so we're talking about working from home at ang karamihan or many are complaining about muscle pain in different parts of the body. Bakit kaya siguro nangyayari ito? Muscles lang ba ang involved dito?
Well, yung mga occupational low back pain that a lot of the working force experience, it's not really new when it comes to those who are working from home. Kasi yun din naman yung mga nararamdaman ng mga employees na nagtatrabaho habang nakaupo. No? Medyo mas amplified lang ngayon because people are just in their houses and they do not travel anymore. So, pag matagal kasi na nakaupo, no, in any occupation na matagal yung position mo, no, if you maintain or sustain any posture for a very long time, then medyo nagkakaroon ng problema, no, nagkakaroon ng mga muscle spasms sa low back area. And low back pain is medyo leading cause of disability among workers in the whole world. There are a lot of these are causes of a lot of absences, no, mga compensations, and then loss of productivity.
That's right, that's right. Now, just to clarify, JJ, a lot of people may be already feeling this type of low back pain, pero is this type of pain immediate na masakit na kagad, or can this be gradual over probably several days or several hours, na at first hindi na nila papansinin, wala silang gagawin until na maging malala na?
Well, yung progression ng low back pain, syempre magsisimula yun. If it is just purely because of occupation-related activities, no? Syempre hindi naman yung bigla-bigla na pagkatapos mong umupo for today, tomorrow masakit na siya. No? It takes time. So the longer that you maintain that posture, then the more detrimental it is para sa low back mo. No? Kasi actually, the highest load o yung pinakamabigat na napupunta sa katawan, no? Napupunta siya sa low back area mo no? Doon sa lumbar region. And sitting position, no, is even higher, no? It gives higher stress to the low back compared to standing, no? Mas mataas yan, around 140 kilograms of force ang nadidirect sa low back mo if you maintain a posture of sitting for a very long time.
Okay. That's right. So, ang pinaka-importante na ngayon dyan is malaman ng mga viewers is paano nila mas mapagaganda yung posture nila. Katulad ng sinabi mo, yun ang importante, yung posture ng pag-upo, no? And what they can do to alleviate the back pain. But before you give that very important advice, let's answer some social media questions. We have one from Iram. Ang tanong niya is, kapag may muscle ache or back pain, nakakatulong po ba yung massage or may probability po na mas makasasama pa ito sa kalusugan?
Well, massage is a very good form of therapy for the low back area, no? Aside from the endorphins na napoproduce nito, no? Because it masks, no? Medyo na papababa na yung pain threshold, no? ng tao na minamasahe. And aside from that, no, syempre it improves din yung blood flow, no? Local blood flow dun sa area ng mga muscle spasms natin sa low back area. And with good blood flow, mas nakiklear, no? Mas natatanggal yung mga metabolites, no? Or mga lactic acid na nagbe-build up sa low back muscles natin when we maintain or sustain a posture for a very long time. So it will help, of course.
Okay. We have another question. But in relation to the massages for the low back, they have to be careful na marunong talaga yung magmasahe because we're dealing with the back. Ayaw natin ng any injuries dun sa area na yan. We have another question from Angel. Kapag masakit po... Yes. We have a second question from Angel. Kapag masakit po yung mga kasukasuan, okay lang po ba na makasanayang uminom ng pain reliever?
Well, of course, yung pag-take natin ng pain relievers, no, will be an artificial form of inducing relief. And of course, it is not advisable na pangmatagalan tayo magtitake ng mga pain relievers because there are other unwanted side effects that we do not want from chronic pain medications. If the low back pain is not relieved anymore or medyo kailangan ng mas marami tayong inumin na gamot araw-araw para lang mawala yung low back pain, then I advise the kailangan sigurong kumonsulta na sa doktor para ma-examine ng mabuti kung meron bang ibang cause aside from just a simple acute muscle strain or muscle spasm na nararamdaman ng pasyente.
Okay, we have our last question and it's from Anna. Ano po ang tamang sitting posture kapag ikaw ay nasa desk at nagtatrabaho? Ayan ang importanteng tanong, JJ.
Well, there are two things na importante if you are expected to sit for a very long time, especially for work. No? Number one is ergonomics. No, it's a very big branch of science that deals with kung paano dapat ang mga design ng mga furniture or office spaces, no, office to improve efficiency ng trabaho at saka for the employee safety as well. No? So he has to choose a very good chair na hindi lang kahit ano-anong upuan. So yung regards with the sitting position, of course, two things ang importante with your chair, no, that you can adjust the height of your chair and the depth, no, kung gaano kalalim yung upuan. No, kasi hindi pwedeng masyadong malalim yung upo mo. Dapat kasi at least yung fist, no, yung kamao, kasya yan sa likod ng tuhod between the knee or between the back of the knee and the chair. Para ibig sabihin hindi ka masyado nakaupo sa dulo ng upuan or at into the back of the chair. And the next one is yung height naman ng upuan. Dapat hindi rin masyadong mababa. Okay? At least man lamang dapat, of course, the feet should touch the ground and then at least yung kamay mo, no, you can slip it in between, no, the space in between the thigh, no, yung space between sa hita mo at saka ng upuan. No, kasi pag malaking space yan, like itong ganito kalaki ang kasya, medyo mababa ang height ng chair and then you have to adjust that because those postures, no, uh, make the low back area bear more stresses. And of course, yung position din ng mga elbow, no, dapat the elbow should be close to the body as much as possible para the stress is not transmitted to the upper back, no, and to the shoulder region para hindi na masyado ma-fatigue. Of course, if it's like 6 hours a day, hindi pa masyado yan kung araw-araw. But if you do this for several weeks and paulit-ulit every several months, then cumulative, repetitive injury to the muscles, and then this will cause you great pain.
Okay, so those are very important tips, especially those kung paano talaga ang tamang upo para to relieve those pains, especially pag long-standing na, pag matagalan. Now, let's discuss some prevention tips naman, JJ. So, ano yung mga ways, aside from yung tamang posture, tama yung distansya ng upuan, ano yung mga ways that we can prevent occupational pain?
Okay, so as I mentioned a while ago, no, number one, invest on a very good chair. No, kailangan yung it's an ergonomically designed chair na talagang will lower the chances of you injuring your back. Number two is, of course, maintain proper good posture and proper back mechanics. No, that is the most important. Ibig sabihin, pag nakaupo, no, it is better to be seated in an upright position around 90 degrees. And if you are comfortable, pwede naman po maglagay ng parang lumbar support dun sa likod, no? Because kailangan natin maintain yung tinatawag natin na lumbar lordosis o yung curvature ng ating likod. Kasi yung curvature na yun yung nagpapa-distribute ng mga weight sa katawan. And number two, we should avoid leaning forward, no? Because leaning forward while sitting also increases the weight sa ating low back area. So all of these things with proper posture and proper back mechanics in a very good and ergonomic chair can at least prevent us from developing low back pain during work. And one more thing is, because a lot of people working who sit down, no, usually 6 to 8 hours a day ang nakaupo eh. That's almost half or 50% ng waking hours natin. And for sitting for that long is really bad for the back. No? So dapat the person should be mindful na to change positions every now and then. Usually dapat at least every 30 minutes, no? You stand up, tayo ka saglit, no? Walk around a bit or go to the kitchen to get some water, no? Bathroom break, no? So para hindi masyadong palaging nakaupo, no? So kailangan at least meron tayong change of position every 30 minutes.
Okay, there you go. You heard it from our orthopedic surgeon, JJ Pua. Thank you very much, JJ, for joining us and sharing your expertise with our viewers.
Thank you, Freddie. Thank you, everyone.
And thank you also for sending us your questions, and we hope that we're able to give you some helpful answers. We'll see you again on Monday, 3:30 p.m. only here on The Doctor Is In. I'm Dr. Freddie Gomez. Stay safe, everyone.